Is 60,000 miles too early for a transmission service? Not if it's a CVT. Let's find out what we did to this one. Let's get started. This is a 2020 Honda CRV with the 1.5 Earth Dreams Turbo. It's actually a pretty good little engine. This customer just wanted some fluid services, and I'm very glad they did. We're going to find out today that it was a very good choice. Most transmissions, a standard automatic transmission, you would think around 100,000 miles, it's time for a service like we're doing on the F-150 we just showed you. But I really recommend on CVTs 50,000 miles, every 50,000 miles. I did look up the scheduled maintenance on this CRV, and it showed not so much miles, but maintenance codes like A1, B2, B3. It was getting very close to the transmission service on this one, so it's definitely time. Let's take a look around this CRV. These are very, very good cars. If you say, what kind of car should I buy? Car Wizard, I'm looking for an SUV. Definitely buy one of these. So here's the front of this CRV. It's basically just silver and charcoal color, nothing fancy, but very reliable. This is the kind of car you buy not to show off, to get to point A to point B, and not have very many breakdowns. I do like the rear end. It has some really cool tail lights that kind of spike up towards the top of the roof, but it is in very good shape. Only around 60,000 miles on this thing. Let's take a look under the hood. Here is our little 1.5 turbo. It says Earth Dreams. I wouldn't mind having this engine. If you look around, especially on the back of the engine, look how much room you have to work on it. Tons of room to fit your arms, to reach the intake, to reach the turbo, to reach exhaust bolts, whatever else you need to get to. It's not packed in here like a V6, but it has the power of a small V6. These are very, very easy to work on. We did an oil change on it, which is just not that big of a deal, but the transmission service, after we got the fluid out, we're going to show you in a little bit, it was definitely time. A lot of people actually argue with me and say, all that CVT transmission service stuff that Car Wizard are just pushing is a bunch of malarkey and a bunch of hogwash. Actually, it's not. We're going to show you why today. Let's let Mrs. Wizard show you guys around the interior. If you're interested in buying one of these, what does the interior look like? Mrs. Wizard will show you. Take it away, Mrs. Wizard.
There we go, ladies and gents. You can see this thing has got 60,917 miles on there. And I'm liking this gauge cluster. You know, they're breaking away from the round circles and giving us some nice arches and some nice wings on the side. Looking good. As we move up, dash looking really good, looking nice. Don't see any cracks, anything like that. They do have a fun little, decoration here hanging down from the rear view mirror, liking it. But going back to the rest of the car, everything's looking good. Got some nice little wood trim there. So we get to our infotainment screen section. It says no signal. Okay, because we are in the car. But I like that they say closed garage door. I think someone has left the garage door open. And you know what? Here's a hint for you. Instead of having to worry so much about this, we have some smart garage doors anymore that, if you're adept with your Alexa, your home, features, you can actually tell it to close after a certain amount of time or close it at a certain time. So we used to have it close at 7:30 when at our house in Newton, just in case you left it open at night. As we move down, we've got our gear selector, got our Econ mode button if you'd like to conserve some gas. And as we move down, just some simple things. Got a key in there, and just a reminder, maybe not want to leave that. It's probably a mail key, but a lot of stuff comes in your mail. You probably don't want to lose it. But again, we are not that kind of a shop. We leave things where they lay. But just to let you know, be careful out there. Not everybody's so nice. Got a very nice little spot here, more glasses case, and then we can lift up. And it's not really a center console area where you can hide a lot because it does open to the outside, but it does give a nice spot here for that elbow. We do have a nice cushion on that seat. Sometimes we need a little extra boost in there, and maybe the seat is a little bit harder because these are no longer the riding sofas back from the 1970s and 80s. So, okay, well, we do have to boost it up a little bit. Sorry, Honda. Door card's looking good. More of that wood trim. Let's get to the back seat. Looks like they might have an outdoor tablecloth back there, and we've got a sunshade. Definitely need a sunshade in this sunshine-filled state of New Mexico. As we move up, everything is looking good. Nothing sagging. No Cheeto fingers. As we get back to that steering wheel, like that we've got our Honda symbol here, and we've got lots of buttons on both sides to make sure that you can, reach things without having to go searching way over there to, figure out where am I going, what am I doing, what do I need to push off, and you know how it is. Nonetheless, let's get this up in the air and see what it looks like on the underneath.
Hello, Mrs. Wizard.
Hello, dear.
Are we ready to film?
We've been filming. Why don't you get busy and let's talk about what's underneath this car.
Okay. One thing I'm seeing, guys, on these newer cars on the bottom is they're really covering the bottom with tons of panels. There's not a whole lot to see. This entire engine bay, everything has its own panel, and there's even some kind of a carpeted panel all the way back. This is for aerodynamics, and really it keeps a lot of dirt and salt away from components from rusting, but let's check it anyways. Even with all these panels in the way, there's little slots and things that you can take a peek and look inside and look for leaks and things. And if it is leaking pretty bad, you'll be able to see oil or fluids coming out of different crevices and things. Luckily, there's nothing leaking, and when we did the transmission service and also the oil change, we just had to remove this silver colored plate here, and it was really pretty easy. Let's check out these wheels. Brakes are about 60%. CV shafts are good. Sway bar link is good. Struts are not blown, which is not surprising with only 60,000 miles on it. Same thing over here, 60% on the brakes. CV boots are good. Strut is good, and the sway bar link is good. One thing I'm seeing down here that's new to me in Las Cruces is a lot of vehicles actually are not all-wheel drive or four-wheel drive. When they have vehicles that do have that option, a lot of them I see coming in chose not to have that option. And I don't blame them because it really doesn't snow down here. And it really doesn't even rain that much, except for a little bit in the summer. What are we trying to go mud bog, and what are we trying to do? I get it now. It kind of makes sense. So here's this carpeted panel, kind of covers up a lot of the exhaust and things. You do see it about halfway back. And here's our charcoal canister up here. You can see there's our fuel tank, easy to get to. It does have a nice skid plate so you don't scrape your fuel tank. This is where differential area would be if it had all-wheel drive, but this one is only front-wheel drive. Let's check these back wheels. Brakes are about 70% in the back. Our shock is not blown. And our little sway bar link up here is good. Same thing over here. Brakes are 70%. The shock is not blown. Sway bar link is good. So some of you on your Camaros and Mustangs have X pipes. Some of you have Y pipes. But do you have a T pipe? This one has a T pipe. It goes one into two. Two separate mufflers. I don't know why that's necessary, just for looks, I guess. I don't know. It works. But the thing to keep in mind, just because it's low miles and it's fairly new, doesn't mean you shouldn't give a good check over. You should still check brakes, check things out for any leaks or loose components. This thing is in really good shape. And another thing I think I'm going to see a lot down here is the absence of rust. This thing looks like it's 5,000 miles or less. It's in very good condition. Let's get this thing on the ground and talk about that transmission service. So like I mentioned, 50,000 miles is what I recommend on all CVT transmissions. I know the Toyotas and things don't have the bell, they have planetaries and things in them, but just for safety, I still really recommend it. It's not worth losing your transmission because you want to save 200 bucks on a transmission service or something. This one takes specific fluid. It's called HCF2. It's special CVT fluid. On these newer vehicles, 2020 and newer especially, there's really a lot of transmission fluids out there. It says good for all these different makes and models. It's getting to a point where you really have to get the specific fluid for your specific vehicle or you could damage the transmission. So we definitely have OEM HCF2 in there now, fresh fluid. I want to show you guys how, oh, you could have gone another 40,000 miles. I don't think so. Let me show you why. I'm ready for my urinalysis, Mrs. Wizard.
That definitely doesn't look very good there.
Looks like I need to drink a little bit more water.
It's definitely a little yellow there.
Honestly, all joking aside, guys, this is fresh OEM Honda HCF2 fluid. It's golden, like pee, I guess if you want to joke around. But it's clean, clear. That's currently what's in this vehicle now. Fresh fluid, just like that. Here's what came out of it. Black as midnight. In fact, if I open this container and smell it, I mean, CVT fluid has a gross smell. It doesn't smell very good, but it just smells like a plasticky smell. When I smell this one, it smells like burned clutches. It's not that anything's wrong with the transmission, it's just that heat and the belt and all those things that's working inside of there has really discolored the fluid. It's throwing a lot of contaminants into the fluid. That doesn't look like nice golden color anymore. I don't think I would want to go another 40,000 miles on this fluid. I got one more test we're going to do. We're going to pour it on this paper and see the difference. So here's our golden fresh HCF2. Clear, very nice, no darkening of the paper. Let's try our old fluid that's 60,000 miles old. That's very brown. It darkened the paper very quickly. Definitely time for a service. I always like to show you guys demonstrations like this to say, well, I don't understand why does it need to be done. And once you see the differences, then it kind of clicks home in your brain. You're like, okay, yeah, I don't need this nasty stuff in my transmission. Over time, this will get darker and darker in its properties, that how it's supposed to lubricate and do different things in the transmission. It starts to lose those properties. And you gain them back again when you put fresh fluid in there. It's not just some oil. There's all kinds of chemicals and additives and things in here, friction modifiers, all kinds of stuff that can drop out of this old fluid and stop doing its job. So glad we got that done for this customer. We've only been open for 2 days here in New Mexico, and we're already booking into August. Thanks to you guys all around in the Las Cruces area and in the surrounding states. We are getting booked up very quickly, and that's really good for business, and I'm glad that I can help a lot of people in the area. Amazingly, a lot of people around here are getting caught up on fluid services, which is very good. If you have a vehicle that's not going to be rusting because there's literally no rust down here, why not make it last as long as it can by doing the fluid services? Like I mentioned with automatic transmissions, just your standard everyday automatic, I recommend 100 to 150,000, somewhere in there, hopefully less than 150, is time for a filter and fluid service. When you get to 200 or more on those, we will not service the transmission because, as you can see, the fluid starts to get dark and it can actually start damaging the transmission because there's clutch material all floating in it. The filter can get some of that stuff out, but it can't continuously filter that much contamination. In fact, the proof of that is when you pull a 200,000 or 300,000 mile transmission pan off, the magnets look like little donuts. They are so full of metal. So, well, a filter will catch all that. No, it didn't. It's still in the fluid. It's still in suspension. I've actually seen where you do a transmission service on a very high mile transmission. I've seen it many times. That where it was shifting fine, now it starts slipping. At a previous shop I worked at years ago, my mentor, Kenneth, got to buy someone a new transmission, even though he didn't damage it. It was a 275,000 mile Chrysler transmission. They wanted a service done. He said, I really don't recommend it. The guy said, I got the money, here it is, I want you to do it, do it. Kenneth said, okay. So he did it. It didn't even last a week, and it came right back. The thing wouldn't even go into second and third gear. I've seen that happen not just once, but probably 10 to 15 times. And that's enough for me, with personal guaranteed experience. 200,000 miles or more on a standard automatic transmission, we will not service them. I'm not interested in going down that road at all. The reason why is because the particles that are in the fluid that I just mentioned are actually what's holding your transmission together. The grip that it needs is that grit that's in the fluid. When you wash all that away, basically it's like cleansing it with alcohol, just washing everything clean. Then it doesn't have that grit anymore and just starts slipping. So that's kind of the reason why. And also, an automatic transmission is not going to last 500,000 and 600,000 miles. When you get to 250, 3, you've gotten your life out of it. Just keep driving it until it's done. It's the easiest way to just keep going with it. Now, the purpose of this video today, CVTs, that's not the case. Every 50,000 miles. If you've gone 100, 125, 150 on your CVT, I will not service it. It's a different ball game with these new CVTs. So how much life does this CRV have left in it? Easily 200,000 to 300,000 miles, if it's continued to be maintained just like this customer is doing. It's got 60,000 miles. It would not be unheard of to have 260,000 miles. Very possible for 360,000 miles. You just got to keep up on all the maintenance. I know maintenance isn't fun, and I know a maintenance video is not all that fun either, but it is necessary. There are times when it's time for this to be done or time for that to be done, and it's going to cost $400, $500, $600 to get all these services done. But your car currently runs fine. It has no check engine light. It drives perfect. Nothing's wrong. Why do I need to put $600 or $800 into it? Why? Because just like I showed you that fluid, it has a service life, and it will turn dark and will quit doing its job, and then damage ensues. It's no different than in the medical field where you go for your yearly checkup. And how many stories have you guys heard or read about where someone went to just a yearly routine checkup and found out they had some sort of cancer or some sort of condition, but they caught it early enough that there's time to do something about it? Can you imagine if you went 10, 15 years without a checkup and said, I don't want to pay for that. They're just trying to get into my pocketbook. And then you finally go and they say, oh my God, you've got cancer. I wish we would have caught this 5 years ago. We could have done something. Now it's too late. You don't want to do that to your car. You really don't. It doesn't deserve to be treated that way. Neither does any of your family or friends. So make sure to keep that in mind as well. We do have a video coming out on Little Chuggy, our forklift. It's coming soon. It's going to be great evidence of what happens when you refuse to maintenance your car because you don't want to spend the money. They didn't maintenance that forklift very well, and I'm going to show you what happened when they tried to be penny pinchers. So if you're curious what kind of tools we use here in the shop, check our Amazon affiliates link in the description below. The tools we use every day, tried and true, are listed for sale there, and if you purchase any of them, we get a small cut and really appreciate it. And make sure to hit the subscribe button on the way out and the notification bell, because we're here in Las Cruces and we've got a full schedule, which means tons more videos for you guys. Thanks for watching.